just trying to get to you. Feels like I'm running in slow motion. Feels like I'm an outsider on the inside. If I disappear, will you even notice? Look in the mirror, see what I see. You need to get help, you deserve to be free. Somewhere between the sky and perfection, I wait for you. Take care of me, and I will take care of you. Make me your top priority. You need me, you need me, oh. I am the gateway to dreams. My heart like beats, but nothing's as it seems. Wait, I wish you would listen to me. You can't wait, you need me, oh. You need me, oh. Oh, you need me, oh. You need me, oh. You need me, oh. Tell me the truth, all you need. You can't neglect me. You need me, oh. Self-care, self-care, self-care. Self-care, self-care, self-care. You can self-care, self-care, self-care. Self-care, self-care. Any longer, you need me, oh. You need me, oh. You need me, oh. You need me, oh. You need me, oh.
Peace and greetings, family. You are listening to WHCR 90.3 FM. This is PJ's show with your host, Pojanee PJ Fleury. Today, we are speaking with whom you just heard. Her track Self-Care played in the intro. We are speaking with Raven Rae. Her book, Butterfly Language, is a self-help memoir. And that's a different type of self-help book. This is her journey, her self-care, her self-help journey to make it to the other side, coming out of many obstacles. Raven Rae is a singer-songwriter, author, and professional butterfly. Now, Raven, what does that mean?
Thank you so much for having me, first of all, and
You're
I'm
welcome.
really glad to be here. To me, professional butterfly means that in all I do, I put my story and my growth journey into it. I like to say that I've grown from a caterpillar to a butterfly. So everything I do, whether it's music or a music video or writing my book, it all weaves together my story to help people.
That's amazing. And what made you want to help people?
I think I was coming from a place for me where I didn't get help until I was 19, and I suffered in silence for a long time privately. And it's just a way to tell people that you don't have to do that. you can get help, whether it's therapy or you're talking to a friend or you're listening to music that frees you, or you're sitting down with somebody who understands you, who can pick your brain a little bit and just let you vent. You don't have to be alone on your journey. And I think everybody needs somebody or something as an outlet to be able to express that. So that's where that comes from, is just believing that everybody really, really needs that sanctuary to heal in some type of way.
And your book, Butterfly Language, how did you go through the journey of writing that book? Talk about your process, and also why was it important for you to write the book?
Yeah, so my process began when I put out my first album, Borderline, in 2019. And it was about my mental health journey and experience and destigmatizing therapy in the Black community. And I really was able to grow and learn about myself, not only mentally, but as a young woman, and how I wanted to take up space in the world and to really get that help that I needed for myself. And then I continued that story of healing for my second album, Metamorphosis, where I literally talk about going from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And what that means for me is being in the dark place and growing to get out of it. So I had to go to therapy. I had to do all of the inner work. I had to read a lot of books and do a lot of research for myself to figure out what was going on for me. I did a lot of spiritual inner work and had a spiritual awakening, and everything um, just led me to becoming the butterfly. And then I went on to do my third album, Believe in Love, which is a continuation of Metamorphosis, and it talks about love and manifestation, and just literally believing in love and believing that dreams are possible and love is possible. And then I took all three of those albums and weaved them into my story called Butterfly Language, where I walk the reader through from beginning to present, from Borderline all the way to Believe in Love. And they're able to scan QR codes that take them to each song as they read along. And they're able to do interactive lessons and inner work for themselves. So I was just really inspired by all that I had gone through to just put it into something that people could hold in their hands and not just listen to.
Oh, absolutely. So let's go back to the beginning
Yeah.
when you were young. You
Hmm.
were 5 years old,
Yeah.
and what happened?
Yes. When I was 5 years old, I lost my mother to cancer. And that really affected me in a deep way, as you can imagine. Being a kid, you're just learning the world and you're just learning about, yourself. And then you have a parent ripped away from you. And it was very traumatic. I had to grow up very, very quickly, and I was uprooted from one school system and my friend group there, and had to travel across town and live in a totally different area with totally different people, and get to know those people and make friends and navigate that space of getting to know myself in a different way. So yeah, childhood was very, very interesting for me, losing a parent.
Yes, I can only imagine. Every day I give thanks for my parents are now, though elderly, are still here. And I've known people at all ages, whether you lose your parent at a young age or an older age, it's always a huge sense of loss when you lose a parent. And so when you were five, so talk about how that manifested later on in your life, that experience.
Yeah, so I was raised by five incredible women, so they really filled the gap for me. and allowed me to grow. They never made me feel like I couldn't do what I wanted to do in life or that my dreams weren't valid. No one ever told me not to do anything just because, I don't have certain things in my life. So I never felt stifled or anything like that. And I'm just very grateful for that experience as well. And just learning how to navigate grief and just challenging things that would come up. I always had them to talk to, and they always spoke with me from a place of wisdom. So that's always great to have as a young person, a young woman, whoever, whatever you identify as. Wisdom is always great to have because I don't know what I would have done without it. So I'm very grateful.
That's amazing to hear.
Yeah.
And so when you are later on in life becoming a preteen, a teenager, how did this depression manifest?
Yeah, so not only was I dealing with grief, I was also dealing with medical illnesses. So I got diagnosed with ulcerative colitis at 9, actually, and then I got diagnosed with scoliosis later on at about 14. So I was dealing with these medical illnesses, and I kept being told by doctors that, like, you can't do this, you won't be able to do this, you'll always be on pills. You'll never have correct function or mobility of your back again. You won't be able to dance. It was just a lot of can't, won't. And that like spiraled me into a depression in a sense. Not only having to hear all of that noise, but also being in school at the time and not really being able to do a lot of what my peers were doing was tough as well because I'm sick, so I'm not able to um, go out or do as much as I maybe would have wanted to. So that was tough, but I got through it by eventually healing myself holistically through therapy and veganism. But going back to the depression and being in that space of just like not really knowing who you are. I think that's what the main thing was I just didn't really know who I was or who I wanted to be or take up space as in the world. So when you're fighting with that and it's conflicting you, and you have like body dysmorphia even, or you see yourself in a different light, that can be really, really tough. So it was a challenge, but I like to think that I got through it.
Well, absolutely. You say you came out on the other side, and you talk about the inner work you
Mhm.
had to do.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what that looked like.
Yes. So I started therapy at 19, and for a while it was just going to therapy every week. She wanted me to come see her every single week. The first month I started, I was actually seeing her twice a week because she was like, we have to get this under control. And then I graduated to seeing her less and less and less over time. But we would just sit and we would talk, and then eventually we got to a space where I could do deeper therapy, and we like really, really dug into the weeds of the issues. And I really, really advocate for therapy, and that's the main thing I put into my music and my message is that it's very important. Mental health, just period, is important, even if you don't see a therapist. But I really champion that, just like taking care of your mind because it's very important. But I was seeing her, we were talking, and it was getting better, it was getting lighter, and I had went vegan before I started therapy, but I wasn't a healthy vegan. There's a junk food vegan and there's healthy veganism, and they're very different. So I wasn't eating a lot of food that I needed to be eating. So I kind of took that power and made sure that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, and feeding myself the correct foods that I needed. So that definitely helped to heal me from the inside out, and that was just really, really powerful.
Really powerful. I know from experience because that's a similar journey in terms of the veganism,
Mhm.
because there's a right way and a wrong way to do
Yes.
almost everything, right? And when it comes to veganism, especially now, 10, 15, there wasn't a lot on the market. You really
Mhm.
had to know how to cook and, do, you know,
Yeah.
you just had to know how to do these things. But now there's Whole Foods, there's Trader Joe's. They have cheesecake,
Right.
vegan cheesecake. Like, why would you even do that? Why? Why would you torture us like this? We might trick ourselves into thinking, well, it's vegan. It's like,
Mhm.
no, that thing is loaded with sugar
Yeah.
and you can't have it all the time. So it's about really understanding what your mission is with nutrition.
That's honestly what I think it was for me, between my ulcerative colitis, which does have to do with the gut, and my mental health and my diet. It was all connected. And nobody ever tells you these things. And that it's very interesting how, we'll sit in the doctor's office and they are very quick to put you on a bunch of medicine, but nobody is quick to say, well, what are you eating? What are you putting into your body? Are you drinking enough water? Because a lot of the time it starts there, and well, not a lot of the time, all the time it starts there with what you're putting into your body. And it's just very interesting how nobody's asking these questions. At least not to me. No, I was never asked. So yeah, it's definitely intriguing.
I saw a doctor. He was an MD, but he was also a naturopathic doctor. So
Mm,
he combined modalities, and he actually went through what I ate, how I slept, my relationships, what I did for work. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, why are you? And it wasn't even like the nurse, it wasn't even like a form that I filled out. He came in and asked me directly.
mhm.
And I was like, whoa, this is a different experience,
Yeah.
but it was holistic. So, like you say, all of these things are connected.
Mhm.
So when you're doing self-care, and tell us from your experience, what was that journey like? Learn self-care, and what does self-care look like?
Yes, so my journey was tumultuous at first because I didn't even know what the word really truly meant. Like it sounds obvious, it's self-care, but when you look deeper, it's like, okay, you have to develop a routine for yourself. Like we just talked about, you have to make sure you're being conscious of what you're putting into your body. And then you also should be conscious about what you're watching and consuming, for entertainment. So all of those things I had to kind of like rebuild for myself, and even the down to the products I was using. I developed my own product brand for myself because I wanted to put natural vegan skincare on my body and in my hair and different things like that. So I literally went as far to learn how to make soap and oil and body butters and experimented them on myself, and then I sold them to other people. But I was using them on me first to make sure that, it worked, and it did, and it helped me to literally heal my skin. So I did a lot of work with that, and then also meditation, and just a lot of meditation. Morning, noon, and night is what I didn't start there, but that's where I am now. It kind of started once a day or twice a day, just sitting with myself and going deeper and figuring out what I needed to focus on. And now it's graduated to a place of just peace and being intentional every single day about going into the day, and not wasting my incarnation on, just just doing any and everything, but just being intentional about the space that I hold. So I do a lot of that every day, and like I said, my routine is a lot more, I would say, fixed now versus when I first started my self-care journey. It was kind of all over the place, but I've gotten to a place where I have a routine and I stick to it as best as I can. And the word to me, it really means that it's deeper than the skin, and it's deeper than the heart, it's deeper than the mind. It's the soul. It really is the soul self-care, because it has to come from within, and it has to come from you pouring into yourself first. So that's what that means to me.
Is so beautiful. It's so rare to hear that. I have never heard that it goes to the soul and it's really coming from within,
Yeah.
because most people it's like, oh, I'm going to do my self-care day. I'm going to mani petty. It's like, okay, which is great. Taking
Yeah.
that time to focus on your nails, your skin, your hair, just being, you want to be radiant. You want to be the best you can be. You want to focus on those things. The skin is the largest organ of the body, and it's responsible for a lot of things. So when it gets clogged, it is not good for the internal health. Again, all of these things are connected. And
Mhm.
so taking the time to make sure you're paying attention to your skin, you're paying attention to the cuticles, the little things of your temple. And it's just that time away from doing everything work, helping someone else, being a caretaker for someone else and caring for yourself. So that's great. However, when you do go deeper, when you you do come from of pure love for yourself, I think that is where it really makes a difference. It's really transformative. So thank you. That is so, so amazing. And so of course we heard your self-care in the beginning of the show. And now we're going to get into another one of your musical selections, which is Euphoria.
Yes.
We'll be right back. Thank you so much for listening. WHCR 90.3 FM.
I get hard naturally. I don't even dream, but if you are by the side to me, well, I might take it. Oh, I don't come with no strings attached, no heavy bags, no loads to weigh me down. I cast every care I had into the ocean, and I drown it out. If happiness grow deeper than my pain, and my past life shows up just the same. Did I lose or did I gain? Euphoria. If happiness grow deeper than my pain, and my past life shows up just the same. Did I lose or did I gain? Euphoria. Happy roots grow deeper than my pain. Past life shows up just the same. Happy roots grow deeper than my pain. Past life shows up just the same. You fall. It's deeper. Happiness is something. If happy roots grow, 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 if happy roots grow.
Welcome back, family. You just heard Euphoria from Raven Ray. This is WHCR 90.3 FM. You're listening to PJ's show, and this is your host, Pojanee PJ Fleury. Again, we're here with Raven Ray, amazing artist and author of the book Butterfly Language, which is a symphony of stories where pages sing and stories dance. Prepare to immerse in a unique literary experience that harmoniously blends original music, soul-stirring poetry, transformative meditations, enlightening lessons, captivating stories, engaging activities, powerful frameworks, empowering techniques, and inspiring affirmations. This book isn't just read, it is lived, felt, and experienced. With that, I know everybody wants to purchase this book. How do people get this book, and how is it really used? What's your intention with the book?
Yes, so the book is on Amazon.com, so everyone can find it there, Butterfly Language. And my intention with the book was to have a physical manifestation of my story that I could hold in my hand, and as well my music, because there are interactive QR codes in the book, so the reader can scan each code and follow along with my story, and hear the music as well. And then there's inner work that the reader has to do in the book as well. So there's lessons and journal exercises, different affirmations that they have to repeat to themselves. And if someone that bought the book to support me, and they told me they bought it, let's say yesterday, and then they finished it, let's say tomorrow, I know you didn't do the inner work, because it takes longer for that to soak in, and there's that much, I'll say, sauce in here that people can really tap into to do the inner work. So that was my intention is inner work, inner work, inner work. And even when I pick up the book, I do the work as well. Even though I've lived it and I've experienced it already, it's still a tool for me.
That is so cool. I mean, you are continually to improve yourself. Like, how important is that? Because we know that it's a journey. Do you ever get to that? Okay, now I have the destination.
Mm. Yes, I think I always have in mind where I want to be in life, but I always like to think that like if you're not continuously growing or trying to up level in some kind of way, whatever it looks like to you, then you're stagnant. And for me, I was in a place where I didn't have the motivation to get out of the bed, to literally just get out of the bed, and do anything, to even just eat. And now I'm in a place where I not only have motivation to get out of the bed and take care of myself, but I have the motivation to do these projects and create music and be creative. So it just comes from a place of never letting myself be stagnant and giving that message to people as well. Because as I said earlier, we only get one life, we only get one incarnation on this earth. Whether you believe that we reincarnate over and over, you're only in this body, this vessel, in this season, this life, one time with this same family and experiences. So you just have to take it and make the most of it. So that's where I come from, with that.
You're right. It's very important to understand, to be present.
Mhm.
We're only going to have a certain amount of time in this time
Yeah.
to manifest our desires, to utilize our gifts and
Mhm.
things like that. So when I remember I was in college and we used to always have these poetry shows and poetry circles. And there was this one brother, Hassan. He had I guess, a refrain or a chorus to one of his poems, and it was, "How do we not injure each when we kill time?" Right?
Yeah.
And I think what he was saying with that was, if we're just sitting around killing, and we think about that expression, why do we have that expression? Oh, I'm going to kill time.
Mhm.
And eventually, you're killing time. You might not have any. You might run out of time. So it's really important to be present and understand that our gifts are to be utilized in a positive way. And the more we can do that, we can live a purpose. We can live a real, like, full life. So if someone right now, especially, is like super talented and all this great stuff, and they're dealing with depression, what would you say would be the first step that they could take to come out of it and start building their life?
Yes, I would say close your eyes and
Mm.
imagine yourself where you want to be, because the first step is to dream. You have to know that it's possible, but sometimes when you're in a dark space, everything seems so dark that it doesn't feel possible. So before you get to the feeling, sometimes you have to get to the knowing. You have to believe in your heart that it's possible. And one thing I'll say is that's the reason why, um, out of my, I would say, attempted suicide, is that it didn't work because I was meant to be here. I was, and we all are meant to be here, but it comes from knowing that I may be in a dark space right now, but in my heart, I know that I have dreams, and I know that these dreams are important. And we all have a dream, but you just have to know that you just I I just come from a space, I guess, of them knowing that you matter. You have to know it. You have to.
Yes, I think so as well. There's so much potential in each and every one of us, and we all came here with gifts. We all have something unique and wonderful to offer the world.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing when people have found their purpose and they're living that purpose and things. And other people have to do a little work to find it and gain motivation to really live it. And so there's that whole, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. So when you're really honest with yourself and you're living your truth and you're creating from the core, I think that's where people really are able to find true happiness and purpose. It's a lot of work sometimes that has to go into that. So we talked about the inner work, spiritually, how important relationships as well to cultivating a whole person.
I think they're very important. I think that connection with other human beings is important, whether it's romantic or it's platonic or whatever it stems from. It's very important to have connection. And during COVID, a lot of us were not able to leave our houses, and we weren't able to experience new people. You were around a lot of the same people that you may have known your whole life. And for some people, that was very tough. And for other people, it was very empowering. But I think a lot of the importance was within the fact that if you had to see those people every day and you were only able to be in one space with them, you really did have to connect and get to know them on a different level. And even if with my own family, we got to a deeper space of healing in that time because we couldn't leave the house. So we had a lot of family meetings in my grandmother's living room and just like talking and connecting. And I even went deeper within my own relationship, and we were working on my own romantic relationship, and we were working on our connection together. And we got married a year after the pandemic. So I think it's very important to connect because you never know where it can lead you in terms of your healing.
Oh, I'm so happy that I asked that question. Yes, and congratulations. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
You're very welcome. And so, yeah, there's just so much, and sometimes it can get a little overwhelming. It's like, oh, I have to take care of myself. I have to take care of others, my relationships, um, my job, or my career, and things like that. What is the best way to kind of manage time and um, be able to be present in all of different layers of life?
Yeah, I would definitely say getting that routine down is very important. I have a million things going on as I'm sure anybody else does, and my brain is just like all over the place sometimes. I have, my hand in many different projects, and I also have a family. So you really just have to be intentional with how you spend your time. And that's what it is, like you're spending your time because, there's 24 hours in a day, and you literally have to pick and choose what you're going to do and what you're not going to do in that day. So having a routine is very, very important, and that's definitely helped me a lot to just establish like what I need to get done in this day, or what can wait for tomorrow, what can wait for next week, or whatever. And I even talk about it in the book how important having a routine is, and I even walk them through how to create one because I just think it's really important. Because if you have a whole list of things to do, but you're all over the place, you're not gonna get much done or feel like you've accomplished anything. So it's just very important.
Yes, it is. Oh, such great advice. That was awesome. So I'm just gonna like pick your brain because it's just so amazing. I know all of this is also in the book, but I really want to give people like a taste, like a real look in the book, and how this can really improve their life, improve the way that they are looking at life, especially if they need that right now. Like you said, if there's someone that they're trying to accomplish a goal and they really need to organize themselves and also make sure at the same time they're not gonna burn out. But if someone now burned out, how can someone kind of like bring themselves back to a good space? A lot of people, like they start off really strong and they're, just doing everything. And then sometimes, it tapers off and then you just kind of on the routine or the journey. How does someone bring themselves back?
Yeah, so I'd love to read a short passage that answers that
Mm,
perfectly.
perfect. Yes.
Yes, so if anybody out there has the book, you can find this on page 103. And the first step is identifying what brings you peace, joy, and a sense of inner balance. Is it spending time in nature, practicing yoga, listening to music, cooking, sports, or spending time with loved ones? Once you have identified the activities or people that make you feel good, try incorporating them into your daily routine. If they are already present in your routine, do your best to stay consistent and work to incorporate them more frequently. So that's the answer for me is just you just take a few minutes each day and work your way up to that full hour because we don't all start with doing a 1 hour workout session. Some of us do, but we don't all start there. So some people have to start a few minutes a day and then build on top of that. And that's how you kind of get some momentum going.
Yes, great on that as well. This book really has it all. That is so great. I am so happy to just delve into the book, and it's very unique because sometimes you either just get a self-help book and sometimes you just get a memoir, right? You just get someone's inspiring story, but this combines it. And I think what sets this book from especially the other self-help books. And so has there been anyone, I'm not sure if you've gotten like reviews that people have submitted on Amazon, but has anyone shared with you the impact the book on their life?
Yes, so it is still very fresh and new, but I come from a place of service. So I really do enjoy when people reach out to me and they let me know that it is helping them in some type of way. I was able to help a young lady who was struggling with depression openly, and she was making a lot of posts on Facebook, and I just privately messaged her and I was like, "Hey, I would like to send you a copy of this book because I really feel like it could help you. You don't have to pay anything. I just want you to read the book and experience it and, let me know how you feel afterwards." And she took the book and she went through everything, every page, and she messaged me back and she was like, "Thank you so much. I was struggling and this really helped me. Like I'm still, trying to find my way out. It's not a quick fix or easy fix or anything, but it's definitely something that heals in a deep way if you do put in the work. So hopefully, I'm hoping that, and I will reach out to her and check on her, but I'm hoping that it'll inspire her to start therapy and start talking to somebody and going deeper with her own journey. So that was just one experience that I had that really, really touched me.
No, that is so beautiful. And thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you for what you are doing. A lot of people wouldn't have thought to do that. Maybe try to picture to sell the book, but just giving the book because you know that it could be positive for someone's life. And I'm so happy to hear that she actually did take her time and go through the book and utilize the wisdom in the book. That is so amazing. So please give us an update too. When you get an update, we'd love to hear and know that she's doing well. We're definitely rooting for her and everyone that may be going through something. Of course, if there's someone that is dealing with like major depression, even suicidal thoughts and things like that, there are a lot of resources out there. You can text 98. That is a hotline specifically for people who might be having suicidal thoughts at this time, like in the moment. You can text them, you can reach out to them and talk to someone. Times it's so helpful to just have someone that you can express yourself and let your feelings out. It's so amazing to me how powerful speak is and speaking your truth and getting things off of your chest. It really lightens the load, especially knowing someone is there to listen, someone that is taking their time. A lot of the people on the 988 who have experienced the same thoughts and feelings, so they're very dedicated to helping others work through this. So please, if anyone is going through anything, a family member is going through anything, reach out and get the support needed.
And I do also want to say, if you do have my book already, and you keep it on your nightstand and you are in a crisis and you just need quick information, I do have on page 7 and 8, we have mental health resources and support numbers in the book that you can actually visually look at. You don't have to grab your phone to look up a number. You can just turn to the page, and we have NAMI's number in here. And then we also let people know, if you're in immediate crisis and danger, to call 911. So there's resources in the book if you do have it, and it's very powerful.
Yes, and that's a blessing to have that. Of course, there's been so much energy around the what's being called now the mental health crisis for a reason. There are many people dealing with these issues, and there has been great effort to put services in place, to put resources in place, and that is a blessing. It's very, for me, just inspiring to see that a lot of people that are in the space are volunteers. It is not an easy space to be in. The professionals in the space, they really care and they're really there to make sure that people that they need. So don't ever, right? And that's part of your work too, breaking down the stigma. It is okay to ask for help. It is common and somewhat normal for people to, if you've been through a traumatic experience, to experience some sort of mental health issue, right? We just put everything together, mental health issues, whether it's small or whether affecting your life. When you get to diagnosis, right? It's whether or not these issues are affecting your life, affecting your personal relationships, affecting your work, your career, things like that. And when it gets to that level, when it gets to that level, it's a real serious problem, and you often need uh, different intervention, different types of intervention. Of course, we know sometimes therapy is stigmatized in our community. And again, and I think we spoke before about this, about breaking down that stigma of therapy. So you've been outspoken about it. Uh, Talk a little bit about that, about what you've experienced with that stigma, and how you've really been able to get people to understand what therapy actually is.
Yes. So for me, growing up, it it wasn't mental health wasn't really something that was talked about in my family as a whole. Like we didn't have family meetings about, oh, like how's your mental today or anything like that, the way that I maybe have seen when I went to go visit my friends from other communities have those dinner table talks. So I didn't see a lot of that going on, and it just really wasn't talked about, you know. So it it kind of for me put a snowball into effect to say, well, if it's not happening, in my space, then I wonder where else it's not happening. So I kind of started talking to my friends and my other like close cousins and things like that, and asking them like, are you having these talks, or like, do you talk freely in your house about mental health? Like, are you able to say what's on your mind without somebody freaking out? Or like, are you able to have these discussions, and if they do freak out, like, are they offering to help you? So it was a lot of that, just like kind of picking the brains of people around me to see, just kind of to test the temperature. And then I was like, wow, well, this is kind of going on everywhere. And then you already hear it in the news and in the publicly, I'll say, in the media about how, it wasn't really something that was talked about as much, because you can publicly see that if it was, we wouldn't be putting a light on these things. I think a lot of the reality television in our community, the things that we choose to showcase and put on TV for us, like as a community, are detrimental in a lot of cases, and we're literally looking at people's mental illnesses on the screen. That's what we're literally looking at, and it's sad. It's
Mhm.
sad that we choose to give a voice to those things. So I think just like full spectrum is not discussed as much for us as I hope it will be in the near future.
Yes, absolutely. So where, again, tell us, where can people get the book and your music?
Yes, so you can find my book Butterfly Language on Amazon.com, and you can find my music on all streaming platforms at Raven Ray.
Thank you so much, Raven, for coming on the show and sharing again for your work. It is much appreciated.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. We're going to play another one of your tracks, The Alchemist, to close us out. You're listening to WHCR 90.3 FM. This is PJ's show with your host, Pojanee PJ Fleury. We'll see you back here, same time, same place next week. Peace.
I feel like I'm running 2 miles per hour, just trying to get to you. Feels like I'm running in slow motion. Feels like I'm an outsider on the inside. disappear. Will you even notice? Look in the mirror, see what I see. You need to get help, you deserve to be free. Somewhere between the sky and perfection, I wait for you. Take care of me, and I will take care of you. Make me your top priority. You need me, you need me, oh. I am the gateway to dreams. My heart like beats, but nothing's as it seems. Wait, I wish you would listen to me. You can't wait, you need me.